So here we have the question. We need to locate all the instantaneous centers for the slider crank mechanism that is shown in the figure. There are few data given: the crank length, connecting rod length, and the angular velocity of the crank is also given. We need to find the velocity of slider and angular velocity of connecting rod. We need to solve this using geometrical method, so it is important to have the geometrical instruments with you to get the solution exactly. So in this problem, we have the known data that the mechanism is a slider crank mechanism, and we have some other data given with respect to the same. The angular velocity of the crank, which is named as OB, is given as 10 radians per second. As we know, the angular velocity unit is given by radians per second. The length of the crank and the length of the connecting rod are also given in this. So the thing that we need to find out in this problem is the velocity of the slider. We do not know the name of the slider, so according to the given names itself, that is AB, OB and all, we'll construct the slider crank mechanism for the given dimensions. So we have the crank as 0.1 meter and AB as 0.4 meter. So you can take a respective scale which fits your mechanism within the page, and at the same time, when you find out the instantaneous centers, you'll be constructing some lines such that it extends and connects somewhere in a farther distance. You must have the capability to manage the space such that all the instantaneous centers are found in the same page, right? So here we have the crank length as 0.1 meter and the connecting rod length as 0.4 meter. So let us take a suitable scale for this particular mechanism. So we will take the scale as 1 centimeter equal to 0.05 meter. The scale depends on you. Whatever you take, you need to manage that scale and the drawing within the page space what you have. Okay, so I am taking 1 centimeter equal to 0.05 meter, and hence we need to construct the slider crank mechanism over here. I'm going to use the space for the construction of slider crank mechanism. And remember one more thing, you need to construct this mechanism when the lengths are given. You must construct it geometrically and according to the scale properly. So here we have an OB of 0.1 meter. So let me just draw a horizontal axis line first. So I have just drawn an axis line. So on this axis line, I'm just going to select a point over here, anywhere on the axis. So I'll just select it over here and name this as the center of the crank, right? So we'll just name this as a fixed. Right, so the crank center will be named as O. Now if you just have a look at the given diagram, the given figure, the angle from the center of the crank is given as 53 degrees. So use a protractor and mark that 53. So once you got that 53 degree point, you can draw a line through the point that you have considered as center of crank, which passes through the point, which gives you the angle of the crank at 53 degrees. Now we also know the length of the crank, which is given as 0.1 meter. We are taking a scale of 1 centimeter equal to 0.05 meter. So when it comes to 0.1 meter, we need to take 2 centimeters. Measure 2 centimeter in the compass. So the crank is named as OB. So this point O. So the next point will be B. Now we also know the length of the connecting rod AB. So we have B here. So A should come on this axis of the center of the crank, right? So we know the length of AB as 0.4 meter. So if 1 centimeter is equal to 0.05 meter, 0.4 meter will be 8 centimeters. Measure 8 centimeters in the compass, keep it at the point B and cut one arc on this axis. So where it intersects, that will be the point A, and A is nothing but the slider. You can connect this from B to A. This will be the connecting rod, and you can connect from O to B, that will be the crank. So we got the mechanism of slider crank according to the given dimensions. So let us use the naming of links and count how many links we have before we start to find the instantaneous centers. So as we know the properties of links, we name the fixed link always as 1 no matter how many fixed links you have. So we have fixed link over here and there. So we'll name both of them as link number 1, and the crank will name it as link number 2, the connecting rod as link number 3, and the slider as link number 4. So we have a total of 4 links, right? For this 4 number of links, let us now find out how many instantaneous centers we need to find for this mechanism. We know the formula to calculate the number of instantaneous centers given by n into n minus 1 by 2. When you substitute small n as 4, that is number of links, we get the value of capital N as 6, which means that we need to find 6 instantaneous centers for this particular mechanism. To identify the names of the instantaneous centers, we simply have a box method. So let us construct a box depending on the number of links. So if here we have got the number of links as 4, so we construct a matrix of 4 cross 4 which has the link names on rows as well as in the columns. Here we have a 4 cross 4 matrix, but here I have just made 5 boxes because I am going to keep a row and column for naming the links. So this is going to give us the name of the links. We have 4 links, 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So the same 4 links we name it vertically also. So for this particular number of links, what you do now is just cross the diagonals, and below the diagonal or above the diagonal you can choose anything. So let us choose below the diagonal and you cross those boxes as well. Whatever the remaining boxes we have, that will give us the names of the instantaneous centers that we need to find out for this particular mechanism. So the first box is first row and second column, that is 1, 2. So this is going to give us I, 1, 2, and then we have I, 1 and 3. Is I, 2, 3. So why we name it like this? Because here if I find out I, 1, 2, it is going to be the one and the same for I, 2, 1 as well. Understand? So we don't find any instantaneous center for the same link. We always find the instantaneous center for the 2 links, right? So we find I13, there is no need to find out I31 and likewise. So we need to find out 6 instantaneous centers as we calculated, and here in this box we are going to get 6 instantaneous centers. In any mechanism, we will be able to identify the fixed instantaneous centers and permanent instantaneous centers directly without any constructions. And maybe in some complicated mechanisms you might have to do some geometrical constructions in order to find the permanent and fixed instantaneous centers. So if you have listened to my previous tutorial video, you might be knowing what is the meaning of fixed and permanent instantaneous centers. If you have no idea about it, I would suggest go back to that video, understand fixed, permanent, instantaneous centers and come back here. Now look at point O, right? It is a center of rotation for the link number 2. This link number 2 is going to either rotate or oscillate during the operation with respect to point O. Now point O is actually belonging to link number 1 and the crank itself is nothing but link number 2. Now it is clear that the link number 2 is actually moving with respect to link number 1. So this is the first fixed instantaneous center that you are going to find. So this point will give us the first fixed instantaneous center, which is given as I12. Now if you go to the next point in the mechanism, after O we have B. Now this B is actually connected to link number 3. So as and when the link number 2 is oscillating or rotating, even this link number 3 will have some motion which is similar to oscillation. So this link 3 will be moving with respect to link number 2 with at the point B, because this is a point where these two links are joining together. So this point will represent another instantaneous center I 2 3, because this is the point where link number 3 is having some motion with respect to link number 2. Now relating the motion of link number 3 to 4, just come in a cycle. We started from 1 to 2 motion, we found I12. Next we checked 2 to 3, we got I23. Now we are checking link 3 to link number 4. Now link 3 is connected to link 4 at this particular point. This movement of link 4 is actually transmitted with respect to link number 3. Link number 3 transmit the motions to link number 4. So this point is the point where it is connected together. This is going to form the instantaneous center I34. Why it is I34? Because this movement of link number 4 is with respect to link number 3. So now the motion is going to be transferred from link number 4 to 1. It started with 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and now it is coming back to 4 to 1, right? So the instantaneous center of this motion of slider, because link number 4 is nothing but a slider which is going to slide along this axis in horizontal direction. So as we have discussed about instantaneous center is simply the point of center of rotation, right? So when you have a horizontal line, the radius of curvature for this horizontal line will be found at infinity. This we have discussed in the properties of instantaneous centers, right? So now the instantaneous center of I14, that is motion of link number 4 with respect to link number 1, should be found at infinity, right? So infinity means the radius of curvature will be found exactly perpendicular to the movement of the slider. So the slider is moving in horizontal direction, so the instantaneous center will be found exactly perpendicular to the motion of the slider. So here you can draw or construct a dotted line, and it means that the instantaneous center is found at infinity. Which instantaneous center is found at infinity? I14, right? So it is found somewhere there at infinity. We don't find any radius of curvature for a horizontal line. Now coming back to the ICs that we were supposed to find, we have found some of them which we have listed here, right? So we found out I12, I23, I34, and we also found one instantaneous center at infinity, that is I14. So we have two more instantaneous centers that is to be found out, I13 and I24. Now how do you find these two instantaneous center is again by geometrical construction. I told you in the beginning, instantaneous center method is a geometrical way of finding out the velocities and the instantaneous centers. So in order to get the remaining two instantaneous centers, we are going to use a diagram called as circle diagram. So when we use this circle diagram, that diagram will give us the clue which instantaneous centers are to be joined to get the intersection of the remaining instantaneous centers that are to be found out. You can draw a circle for the circle diagram of any radius, it's of your choice, but depending on how many links you have, you draw the circle that much clear. I repeat, the radius is not of concern, you simply draw a circle. Inside this circle, how much ever links that you have found in the mechanism. So in this problem we have 4 links, right? So these 4 links are going to be drawn as a polygon. If you have 4 links, you draw a 4-sided polygon. So it might be a square, which will give us a much more clearer understanding. So I'll simply draw a polygon here within the circle. This circle diagram is helpful only to identify which points to join to get the remaining instantaneous centers. Now these 4 corners of the square will represent the link. So we have 4 links and name the 4 corners as 4 links, right? So whichever side that is connected, you name that as the instantaneous center. So this is 1, 2. So I'll name this one as I12. This side is 2, 3. So this I23. 3, 4. 4, 1. We don't name I41, so we'll name it as I14. So these are the 4 instantaneous centers which we have already found out, right? If you refer that box, I12, I23, I34, I14. So these 4 instantaneous centers are already found. So the instantaneous centers which are already found, you draw them with a dark line. That's what we have done, right? So now we need to find out the remaining 2 instantaneous centers which are I13, and we also need to find I24. So how do we find out this? From the circle diagram, you connect the point 1, 2, 3 if you want to find I13. Let us find I13 first. So let me connect 1, 2, 3 with a dotted line. So this will represent I13. So once I connect that 1, 2, 3, you are going to find 2 triangles formed in the circle diagram. So you can see here 1, 3, 4 is one triangle, and 1, 2, 3 is another triangle, right? So you consider these 2 triangles separately. So for your better understanding, let me just draw those 2 triangles separately. So this is one triangle we have 1, 3, 4, and this another triangle we have 1, 2, 3. So here I am going to get I13, here I am going to get I13. Now for these 2 triangles formed when we connected 1, 2, 3, you are going to get 2 triangles as I told you. So the 2 triangles will be formed by I13 and another 2 edges. So which are the remaining 2 edges if we check? I14 and I34. So to find out I13, what you do is you join I14 and I34. I14 and I34 in the drawing, right? Where do we have I14 and I34? If you look at the mechanism, we have I14 at infinity and we have I34 present over here. So what we need to do with respect to these 2 points are you connect these 2 points I14 to I34. So here I have I34 and I14 is present at infinity. Already we have connected it with a dotted line, right? So we have I34 to I14 which is at infinity. It is already connected through a dotted line. So this is completed. So when we have done with one triangle, refer the another triangle that is formed. These 2 edges will be present in the triangle 1, 2, 3. So connect the points I12 to I23. So where do we have I12 here? I12 is present here. I23 is present here. It is already connected with a line. Even though if it is connected with a line, you extend that line till it reaches another line which we connected. The another line which was connected was I34 to I14. Now the line that we need to connect is I12 to I23. So here I have I12. So just extend this line till it meets another line. Okay. The vertical line is still not meeting it. As we saw, vertical line is going to reach infinity. Infinity is found elsewhere out of the boundary. So we are free to extend this vertical line ahead. So this point where it intersects now is going to be the instantaneous center I13. We need to do for I24. Repeat the same process. Now connect the points 2 to 4. So for your clarity, let me just erase what we have for I13. Now in the circle diagram, connect the point 2, 4. So here I have 2 and here I have 4. You connect that with a dotted line. And here I am supposed to get I24. Now how do I get I24? When I construct I24, there are 2 triangles formed here. One is over here, 1, 2, 4. And another triangle is over here, 2, 3, 4, right? So refer the triangles one by one. Okay, so first we'll refer 1, 2, 4. So to find out I24, connect the instantaneous centers I12 and I14. For our reference, we'll write it separately. So the first line we are going to be getting it by connecting I12 and I14. So what about the another line? We'll check that also. Okay, so it is formed by 2, 3, 4. If you want I24, find out the points I23 and I34 in order to get the line. Join this line which is formed by I23 and I34. So when you connect these two lines and where it intersects, that will be the instantaneous center I24. Okay, so let us do it one by one. Find out where is I12 and I14 in the mechanism drawing. Okay, so we have I12 present here, and where do you find I14? It is not that only this line will represent I14. I14 is simply found at infinity. So from whichever point you want to connect to I14, you have to take it vertically to infinity. So here we took it vertically to infinity because we wanted to connect I34 and I14. Now we need to connect I12 and I14. So where is I14 found? It is found vertically at infinite distance. So from here, let us draw a vertical line from I12 till it connects to the infinite. So somewhere here on this line at infinity, you are going to find I14. So this is I12 connected to I14. So now we have done with the first one. Check the second 2 points. We have I23 to I34. So I23 is present here, I34 is present here. Connect this with a straight line. So it is already connected. You just need to extend it till it touches another line, which is another line formed I12, I14. I12 is here, I14 is here. This is the line to which I need to connect another line that is being formed, which is from I23 to I34. So I23 is here, I34 is here. Now do not extend the line in the opposite direction, which is useless, because I want to extend this line till it connects to another line formed, right? So extend this till it touches that vertical line. So only that much extension is sufficient. So this point what you find here will be the next instantaneous center I24. Now we have done with finding out all the 6 instantaneous centers that we were supposed to find, and the one which were in table, all are done. Okay, so now we need to find out the velocity of the slider and the angular velocity of the connecting rod. So we have the relation between angular velocity and the velocity, linear velocity. The velocity of the crank, which is given by omega OB, that should be equal to the velocity at point B divided by the distance of point B from the center of rotation. So if you just have a look at the drawing or the mechanism that we have obtained, this is point O and this is point B, right? So if you want to find out the velocity at point B, you must take the distance of point B from the center of rotation. Where is the center of rotation here? For this particular link is O, right? So you need to take the distance of OB. That is the distance of the point from the center of rotation, right? So velocity of point B divided by OB. We know the data pertaining to this because the angular velocity of the crank is given in the question itself. It's given as 10 radians per second. So you can just substitute it over here. 10 radians per second. VB is unknown, which I am trying to find. OB is a known value because it is already given in the question, the length of the crank as 0.1 meter. Substitute it in terms of meter. So we get the velocity at point B as 10 into 0.1, that is 1 meter per second. So now that we have calculated VB, next we will calculate the velocity at the next point. Found out the velocity at B. Now we will try to calculate the velocity at the next point, that is point A. We have the perpendicular distance of that point from the center of rotation. So if I am considering this link, right, so that is B to A. For this B to A, the center of rotation is found as I13. So if I am trying to find out the velocity at point A, then the distance from point A to center of rotation is going to be A to I13, because I13 is the center of rotation for this particular link AB as it joins to that particular point. So measure this distance of I13 to A, which is going to be useful for us to find out the answers. We can also measure the value of I13 to B, which we can substitute in the formula. So velocity at point A divided by the distance of that point to the center of rotation. So this is the center of rotation for this particular link. When we calculated it for OB, the center of rotation for OB was point O. So we took the distance from B to O. Now for this link, that is a connecting rod, the center of rotation is I13. So you take the distance of those 2 points till I1. So you are going to have VA divided by the center of rotation is I13 to A, that should be equal to VB divided by I13B. This should be equal to the angular velocity of that particular link. So now I am considering connecting rod AB, so I am going to write it as omega AB. Just consider the first two parameters. So by measurement, geometrical constructions what you have made, you are going to get I13A and I13B. Let us measure and get the answers from the drawing that we have done. So this is going to be 12 centimeters we are getting. We have taken 1 centimeter as 0.05 meter. So I13 to A is actually 12 centimeter multiplied by the scale. We have taken the scale as 1 centimeter equal to 0.05 meter. So multiplied with the scale. So you will get I13A from here in meter. We'll measure I13 to B as well. You have it as 13 centimeters. So this is going to be 13 centimeter multiplied by the scale. So you multiply it with the scale accordingly what you have taken. Okay. So you get I13B when you calculate this. So we'll get this one as 0.6 meter and we'll get this one as 0.66 meters. Now come back to this formula and consider only the first two terms. So we get the value of VA as 0.9218 meter per second. So now we have got the value of VA, we can find out the angular velocity of omega AB as well, right? So you consider either these two terms or the first and the last term, the choice is yours. From equation 1, so let me have this as equation 1. Now I am taking only these two parameters. We will get the angular velocity of connecting rod as 1.56 radians per second. Depending on the decimals you take, your answer will vary a little bit, and that will complete the problem as it was asked in the question to find out the velocity of slider. The velocity of slider is VA because point A is nothing but the slider. And the second sub question was to find out the angular velocity of connecting rod. So connecting rod is named as AB, so angular velocity of connecting rod is omega AB. That also we have found out. That will complete the solution. For any doubts or clarifications, you can drop a comment or contact me through my mail ID.